Hello, good morning, you lovely, lovely people. Good morning indeed, and a good morning it is. Today's topic is going to be about financial abuse. Um, what many foreigners may perceive as financial abuse from your Filipina. Now, it's wrong to generalize that every Filipina is after your money. It's wrong to generalize that. Um, but and gold diggers, there's many people who assume because the Filipino is with a foreigner that they are all gold diggers, and it's simply not the case. It's simply not the case. It does happen, but it happens in all nations, doesn't it? But because we're in the Philippines, let's talk about that. Now, would you honestly put your financial capacity, your money, would you let your Filipina control the finances in the house and trust the person to pay the bills, to keep the house, and to just generally make sure things are paid? Well, I can honestly say, with my hand on my heart, is that my wife is better than me at making sure bills are paid on time, because I simply forget. I do. Where my wife, she doesn't. She never forgets. Stephen, have you paid the electric? Oh God, I'll pay that now. Have you paid the water? Oh God, I'll pay that now as well. The internet, yeah, oh God, I'll do that. So my wife is better than me at paying the bills. She's on time. And what I do, this is my marriage. This is what I do. Now, I pay the bills. Okay, that's a job that I do. But I have to be reminded of that. But I do pay that. So when we go shopping, my wife picks what she wants. Okay, she goes around the supermarket and she gets what she wants. Because I don't know exactly what she's going to want to have. So I say to her, Mira, you get what you want and I'll get what I want. And we normally go two separate ways, because I'm down the aisle what she's not interested in, and she will be down the aisle that she's interested in, like the tins of sardines and um, uh, dried fish parts. See, I'm not interested in that, so she does that. So she gets what she wants. I get what I want. I pay for that. And then what we do, I give her money for, because there's nothing worse, is there, than your Filipina having to ask you for money. Like, oh, Stephen, have you got like 500 pesos so I can buy something off a Shopee? And it's not often. So what I do, I give her money, okay? And whatever she does with that money, and it's not a lot, because she doesn't need a lot, because everything is paid for. The bills are paid for, the shopping's bought. So I give her money so she can buy things off Shopee if she wants to do it, get things for my son, because again, I don't know what my son wants in clothes wise. My wife does. And my wife being a good mother, she's always, because he's grown very fast, my son. So the things that I bought like 3 months ago, I think, those will be all right for another year. They're not, because he's grown so quickly. They need replacing. So my wife gets money for that. And she saves money. The 10s and the 20 pesos that I leave on the side, they disappear. I know they disappear, because I said to Mary, there's change on there. And she puts it in her money pot, and then after a certain amount of time, she'll count it and cash it in, and then she just goes and buys Kaylin clothes, and her, like on the occasional time. So when people say that Filipinos are gold diggers, I've got to disagree with that, and I disagree with that strongly, because it's bad to generalize, isn't it, of people. And you can tell if you're Filipina or a Filipina is a gold digger, because normally they live above their means. They don't care about your finances. They just think that you got a bottom, you're like a bottomless pit of money. And this is the way that you can tell. And Jackie's found something down here. Come on, Jackie. Come on. But to generalize, I think is totally wrong. And like I said, my wife is better controlling money than I am. And that's the truth, guys. That is the truth. And I know many women are not like that. Many women are, they are, some are quite high maintenance. I'm lucky because my wife isn't. She likes quite like a basic, simple life. And I don't mean basic where we haven't got anything, because we have. We get anything that we need. If we need something, we go and buy it. It's as simple as that. So we don't live a cheap life. We live a basic life. And that's how we like. We don't like many extravagant things. Yes, we do buy the extravagant things on the occasion. But it's far few and in between, because both of us is not like that. I wasn't like it in England. I want, I'm certainly not like it here. And my wife is the same. But the one thing that will get you down, and I keep saying this, and I hear so many stories of this, is when the families get involved, when the families get involved. My wife is pretty strong now, and she, rather than, and we're talking about this last night, so this is why I'm talking about this video today. And she said that, again, her auntie had been asking for money. So I said, well, what did you say? And she said, Stephen, I know the best thing what to do now. And I said, what's that? She said, I just don't answer. And I thought, well, don't they keep messaging? And she said, yeah, they do, but they stop. They stop messaging. So this is what my wife does now. When she gets messages from her auntie or whoever asking for money, she just doesn't reply to the message. And she says it seems to fix the problem. Because even if they asking you for money, okay, and you reply back and say, well, I haven't got no money, they will, it's like text tennis. They will be sending you a message and you will be sending a message back. And it can make that texting or that chatting that you're doing on their side, you become aggressive. Because you keep denying, they keep sending you messages and you keep sending messages back, it's going to get them annoyed. So rather, and she's true, it's true, my wife has got it off to a T now. Rather than do that, she just doesn't answer the messages. And they might send 2 or 3 messages after that, but then it stops. Until the next time, of course, but then my wife just does the same. And we went there last weekend, I think it was last weekend, to her auntie's house. And she was all laughing and smiling, because there wasn't the aggression where my wife said, no, we haven't got it, or, like Steve doesn't do it no more. So she's got that sussed out. So I suppose, I think it's the same as anything. When you're in a situation where talking is not going to fix the problem, it's best to not say anything at all. It's best to be silent. So my wife's got that sussed out. Brilliant. Good for her, and good for me too. But many Filipinas, they are very loyal, they are very kind, they are home-loving people, and they are family-orientated people. Family where it could be their family, like their aunties and uncles, mums, dads, brothers and sisters. Or, with my wife, it's more to do with our family, with me, my son, and keeping our house. Because, as she said before, we've spoke about this several times when we were going through all of this turmoil with her family, wanting money and all that. And as she said, Stephen, it's our family. We have priorities, and it's true. And my wife was saying this to me. I didn't have to say it to her. They've got to realise that we have a family. This is our family. And she's even said this as well. She's gone so far as to say this. What Filipinos don't realise is when they have lots of kids, it's brilliant, they think. Oh, yes, I have lots of kids. But then they don't take into consideration the cost of raising those kids, the cost of clothing those kids, of feeding those kids, of sending them into schools. They don't think of this. Many don't think of it. I think this generation, the 20-year-olds now who are getting married and having kids, they don't have so many kids now, like where I am. Many of the families that are married, the young families in their 25s, 30 years old, they only have 1 or 2 kids, because they've realised now how much it costs. And you can't rely on your kids growing up and giving you money. That's a terrible thing as well. I know it's a Philippine culture. They think the more kids we have, the more money we're going to generate when they get out to work. Well, if you don't give them a good education, how are they going to send you money when they, when they do eventually graduate, if they are lucky enough to graduate from a university? I'll show you around here. I keep doing this. I don't know if my camera's working, so I have to keep turning it round just to make sure. And it is. It is. Jackie, what are you doing? Here he is, the little guard dog. So this is how they think, or this is how they did think. And my wife comes from 11, like a family of 11 siblings. 11. And her mum and dad didn't think about it. And there's one, I think, the one brother that she's got, he doesn't want to go to school. He's always out. He's gallivanting. He's here, there, and everywhere. And the family don't make him go to school. And the reason they don't make him go to school is because they can't afford it to send him to school. People say, why don't you have another child? To us. And I'm saying to Mira, we got one, okay? And I said, if we have another one, we do. But I said, I'm not having another kid because people say, oh, have a girl. It'd be a beautiful girl. It's not about that. It's about financial. With my son, and I want to give him the best of education here, because here, education is everything. Without an education here, you are destined to work on, being a boy. He's destined to be a labourer on a building site. He'd be destined to be a carpenter, or, if that's what you want to call him, a carpenter, a mason, plumber. I don't want that for my boy. I want him to be a professional and get a great job. Yes, I can't make him do that, but I can encourage. And the best way to encourage is to give them a damn good education as best as you can. And this is my mission. Now, if we had another child, we did. Or we would. But it's not because people tell me, oh, have another one. I'm not doing it for them reasons. I'm not having children for anybody else. But this is how some of them think, because they don't think of the financial burden that children give you. But my wife is clever like that. She's very wise, because she's never had that much when she was, with her family, because obviously her family never had that money to give her. But she graduated from a university. Thank heavens, she graduated in computer science. Now, what good that could do her, I don't know. But, sometimes when my computer plays up, and it does because it's getting old, she will come and look at it, and 9 times out of 10 she can solve the problem. Just by doing simple things that I'm not computer literate. I know how to turn it on, I know how to work it, but I don't know if I get, something goes wrong or it gets slow, and she just fixes it. But to class all Filipinos, in this stigma that when older foreigners go with really young girls. Now, who are we to say about that, okay? Because that foreigner, if he's old, in his 60s, 70s, got a good pension, and he gets with a really young girl, well, that's for them, isn't it? That's for them. And if that girl is in it for the money, which is possibly the reason, but it might not be, but let's just say it is, then I guarantee that foreigner will know that. He will know that Jackie, he will know that that's the reason. And if he's happy with that, he's happy with that. Jackie, stop it. He's gone mental. And who are we to say anything? If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. If that foreigner's happy, if that girl's happy with the situation, then fair play. So be it. And, what I do feel sorry for is these overseas Filipino workers. When they got kids here, and maybe from a broken family, or maybe not. But when they go to these countries and they work 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, sometimes more, in countries where they don't want to be, and in environments they don't want to be, and when they get the money, they send it back, and the people who they're sending it back to abuse that, and they take the money. you know, and they probably drinking with the money and gambling with the money. That is a terrible, terrible thing. So then you got to think to yourself, is it worth it going to be an overseas Filipino worker? If you're sending the money back, and every day you're away, you don't want to be away, you want to be in your own country, right? Every day you're away, you're working your ass off, sending your money back, and it's all being wasted. Now, not all. I know a lot of these Filipino overseas workers, they send money back, and some of the families are good, and they will buy land and they will build a house. So when they do eventually get out of the being overseas working, they've got something. They can see something what they've sacrificed, their time away from their kids. Because it's normally women with kids who normally go to these overseas working jobs. But people, please don't generalise every Filipina is like a gold digger, because they simply not. And just because you're with a Filipina and he breaks up, don't just look at them and think it was her fault, because it takes two. It's two people in a relationship, and it's so easy to blame the Filipina. It's so easy, and we shouldn't do it, because my God, many of us who come here have been divorced and had plenty of relationships that have broken down. So rather than look at the Filipina all the time and blaming them, why not look at ourselves a little bit more closely and thinking, yeah, it's me as well. It's me as well. Be honest with yourselves. And this is what we don't do. We aren't. We just come here, and yes, we give up everything in our own country to come here. Filipinos don't give up a lot because they're already here. Their families are here, their lifestyle's here, their country's here. With us, we come here, we leave everything. Some of us leave family behind. And, my son's in England. I miss them terribly. I do. But I know they're still there. I was speaking to my son last night, actually, on a video call. And he's doing all right. He's doing great. But I still miss them. But it's a sacrifice that we make. And just because we've made that sacrifice and things don't work out here as we planned, we can't blame the Filipino all the time if it's not their fault. We can't say, well, I've come here for you and you've decided to end it. Look, we can't do that. Relationships end all the time. Every minute of the day there's a relationship ending and another relationship beginning. So we can't blame them all the time. Sometimes it is their fault. Of course it is. Sometimes we find out that some of them are scammers. Sometimes we find out that some of them were only there for the financial gain. But not all. Not all. So that's my video for today, people. I hope you've enjoyed it. And it's a glorious day. And whatever you're doing, people, do it well. And like I say, stay healthy as you possibly can. Because health is wealth, as we know. And take good care of yourselves. And thank you. Well, my dog's deserted me now. He has deserted me. Take good care of yourselves, people. God bless you all. Bye-bye.